Namaste. Welcome all. My name is Todd Norian and I'm the founder of Ashaya Yoga. And this class is called Look Behind the Veil of Ashaya Yoga, which is a chance to really do some yoga together and to learn a little bit more about the details of Ashaya Yoga. And Ashaya Yoga, Ashaya means abode of the heart. And it's really a beautiful yoga that incorporates body, mind, and heart. It's really the only path that I know of that has the in-depth study of body, mind, and heart, and how they integrate together through the 5 elements, which is earth, water, fire, air, and sky. And there are 4 basic essentials that we use in the Ashaya method to bring all the techniques and all the 5 elements into harmony. And one of the big things with Ashaya, of course, is the non-dual Tantra philosophy, which basically is saying that everything in the universe is divine, that we all come from one light, and as that one light passes through the crystal of like a prism, that it diffracts into a variety of lights like the rainbow. And then each one of those colors is imbued with the one light. So each of us as individuals, we are all composed of this one light. So there's a deep integration. In fact, the word tantra means loom, which is like to weave, a weaver's loom. And it helps to remind us that we're all connected to this one bigger energy, which we can call grace or light or God or the universe. And Hafiz and many of the other mystic poets have said things like we are all gods and goddesses in drag, meaning that we have everything we need already inside of us. It's just we're asleep to it. So then our yoga practice becomes more about how to wake up, how to remember that we come from this divine heritage. And then in the Ashaya method, we learn how to align with the natural sort of divine blueprint of the body so that all the different joints and muscles feel good, and we realign everything so the body works and flows much better. So if you like these ideas and you like this class, I really want to invite you to come and check out and join the Ashaya membership, which is every Tuesday and Thursday. And it's a monthly membership. It's online. And then I go in depth into the various practices that we'll do. Today is just a little bit of a taste of what that is. But what's great is that when you sign up for a membership, you're sort of locked in to do a committed practice, which is really good for you. And life is so busy that often we don't really have a regular spiritual practice because life gets in the way. So this is a great way to make a commitment towards something that you know you want and that you know is really good for you. And the community of Ashaya people is so loving. I feel like today we need more than just our personal practice. We need a personal practice that's shared in community, because the community is what really helps us stay aligned. We're not feeling so up or whatever, or we're a little bit depressed or down. When we connect with the community, they uplift us and they hold space for us to explore and actually express our authentic self. So you can go to ashayayoga.com and click on membership and just see if that's the kind of yoga for you. So one of the ways that we can remember this divine nature is to practice the art of wonder. How to be in a state of wonder and awe. As little kids walk around in that, And all of the enlightened masters have said something like, we need to see with the eyes of a child, meaning we need to see with fresh eyes so that we're not looking through sort of the colored glasses of our past experience. And I'll never forget, I think it was last night when I looked up, I saw the supermoon. It's not quite full yet, but it's almost full. And oh my God, I went right into wonder. This huge orange ball floating in the sky as the full moon. It just never ceases to fascinate me. And when we can access that state of wonder and awe, our problems fall away. We open up to a bigger energy. And then we remember that we're part of this cosmos. In fact, the five elements that make up everything, the five elements are the building blocks of everything in the material world, including our body. They all came from stars. So I always like saying this, but we are star babies. We all come from there, but it's easy to forget. So how to have a state of wonder. The other thing in the Tantric tradition and in Ashaya is that not only is there grace, but we have agency. So yes, we are divine, but we are uniquely ourselves. Our choices, our actions, what we do for a living, all the things that we do give us our unique character. And the world needs our uniqueness. We're encouraged to actually find, what is our special gift that we want to give the world, and to offer that. So in many traditions, the ego is considered an obstacle. Oh, we have to dissolve the ego. But in the Tantric tradition, the ego becomes the gift of our embodiment. That it's actually our vehicle, our expression of this infinite divine nature in limited form. So we learn how to esteem ourselves. We learn how, to sort of build up our sense of worthiness, our sense of value, so that we can be, a strong conduit, a strong vessel of this greater energy that flows through us. And then I'd say all of yoga is to help remove the obstacles that keep the life force from flowing. Because we know when the life force is flowing, we feel fabulous. And yoga helps to facilitate all of that. And it's a really powerful reason to practice. So let's take a comfortable seat. So during this next 45 minutes, we're going to do a short centering, and then I'll guide you through a series of movement and some asana using the Ashaya method. And then we'll do a little bit of breathing, pranayama, and then meditation. And then at the very end, shavasana, where we lie down and relax. So I hope you enjoy it. Please elevate your hips. So sit up on one or two folded blankets, cross-legged, or if you're seated in a chair is fine. And then manually hold your thigh bone, and you're going to turn the whole thigh bone inwardly. That means that the inner edge of the thigh rotates down toward the floor. As you do that, pull the sitting bones out so that your pelvic floor actually widens apart. Draw your tailbone down as well. Join your index fingers and thumbs in Jnana Mudra, basically mudra of consciousness, palms down. And then close your eyes. Find your breath and take a few long and slow, deep breaths. With every inhalation, breathe in a sense of wonder and awe. And as you exhale, release any obstacles. Let your hips get heavier. Inhale, invite the light of the universe to fill you, and then lengthen your side ribs. Allow your collarbones to float upward. Take your shoulders back, lift your throat. Take the roof of the mouth back, that's the upper palate. And then once that's back, lift the back of your skull up so your chin is parallel to the floor. And flow with your breath as your way of flowing in the current of grace. We know that the breath carries the life force, because just a few minutes without breath, then there's no more life. So let the breath flow, and then see if you can allow the breath to breathe you. Let go of any effort to breathe, release the struggle. And with each exhalation, let go of any responsibilities, let go of worries, anxiety, even release the past. And bring yourself fully into the present moment, where you are open to the bigger energy. We recognize that grace, or the universe, surrounds us and is constantly giving us blessings. But we tend to ignore it when the mind is preoccupied with its own suffering, or with just focus on other things. we're not able to receive grace. So let's open ourselves now to take in the blessing of life. And then breathe into your heart. Let the light fill your heart. And set an intention for yourself. What is it you'd like to receive? What would you like to gain as a result of your practice today? And just put that out to the universe. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. May we bring our individual agency, our individual expression to align with this bigger, higher energy. And may the universal and individual dance the rhythms of the universe deep in the heart. And may it give us a sense of wonder and awe to remember the miracle we call life, to not take it for granted. And may we bring our best self forward today. To honor the bigger energy, let's chant the primordial sound of Om. It's the sound of all sounds. So take a deep breath in. Into the presence of grace deep in your heart, gently bow. When you're ready, open your eyes. Namaste. Welcome back. And come join me in a standing position. I'll see you there in just a moment. Come stand, feet parallel, hip distance, palms in front. Take a breath, soften your skin. Open to a bigger energy now, and then inhale, sweep your arms out to the side and all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Lead with your heart. Let your movements be gliding. Inhale, lift your heart halfway forward. And then exhale, fold. Imagine you could flow in the current of grace by following your breath. Exhale and bow. Inhale and open. Exhale, bow. And then root your feet down and inhale, sweep your arms out to the side, come up. And exhale, release, palms in front of the heart. There's kind of a playful little mudra I like to share, all about wonder, and it gets the shoulders and chest in alignment. It's called the How Wonderful Mudra. So I'd like you to try that. You have to say it. How wonderful. That's right. Say it to the sky. How wonderful. Say it to the earth. How wonderful. So when you externally rotate your arms like this, the shoulders automatically go back, and that's what we want. Okay? So palms in front. Inhale. Pause here with the How Wonderful Mudra, and then stretch it all the way up. Keep your armpits back. And when your arm bones go back, to get them back, you have to engage the muscles on the back of the shoulder. So all the rotator cuff muscles, the scapula muscles, all engage. Keeping that exhale, fold. Remember that you are divine. In your individual nature, you're an aspect of the divine. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog pose. And then alternately press your heels. Bend the opposite knee. Then bend both knees, turn your thighs in, lift your sitting bones higher to get a low back curve. And with agency, claw your fingers and pull from your hands all the way up into the heart. Lift your arm bones up as well. So you maintain your own individual effort, but then remember the universal. Melt the hearts. The upper back stays soft. Remember grace. But you have agency. Find the place in the middle where individual and universal meet. There's a dance of ecstasy, dance of all possibilities. Then, from your heart, push through your hands, and from your heart, root the heels straight back. Enjoy the stretch. Go a little deeper. Breathe a little bit more.
Keep your head just slightly lifted so your ears are framed between your arms. Exhale, right foot forward and come up. Hands to hips. Turn your hips square to the front, back heel is up, and then stretch your arms. Hug in with individual agency. Squeeze in. We are co-participators with grace. And you have to hug into what is it that you most deeply desire. Hug into that. Then thighs back, tailbone in, and then curl back. Lift your heart more. From your pelvic core, just radiate out in all directions with a sense of wonder and awe. Exhale, sweep your arms down, touch, go back to downward dog pose and breathe. Push the base of your shins backwards. Get a deeper stretch in the legs. When you bring the base of the shins back, your knees can bend a little. And instead of heels down to the floor, you pull the heels back. Exhale, left foot forward. Hug in to co-participate. Your effort is needed. You've heard this before. I've said it many times before, that the winds of grace are always blowing, but you have to set your sails. Stretch your arms up, set your sails. Let's align with the bigger energy. Well, to align with that, left knee over the ankle, lift your right thigh, back of the thigh up, take your tailbone down, and then from your pelvis, push through the right heel and through the left shin. And then from your pelvis, rise up, and with a sense of wonder, curl back and breathe. Each inhalation, more wonder, more light. Each exhalation, release what no longer serves you. And then sweep your arms out. Step back into plank pose. Thigh bones back, tailbone in. Okay to put your knees on the floor if you need. And then keeping the heart soft, go into chaturanga, plank with elbows bent. Hug your elbows into the ribs. Keep the top of your shoulders up so they're level with the elbow. Thighs back, tailbone in. Okay to put your knees down. And then exhale all the way down, point your toes. Hug your legs toward the middle. And we're going to do cobra, but before we come up into cobra, pull energetically from your feet to the hips, like you're putting on a neoprene wetsuit. Pull it up. Then roll your thighs in, tailbone down. And now, claw your pads and roots in your hands and pull the palms backwards. Lift your chest, shoulders back. With a sense of wonder, continue to reach from the pelvis back through your legs and straight up through your spine. Go up through the heart, the throat, and the head. But with your individual nature, continue to claw. You have agency. Your ego matters. And then squeeze your shoulder blades firm on the back, and that's going to protect your neck. Heart is soft, but shoulder blades are firm. Open your breath. And exhale down. Stretch your arms by your sides. Relax for a moment. Nice big breath in and out. Then clasp your hands behind. Squeeze your legs into the middle and lift everything off the floor. Squeeze your shoulders back. Come up and breathe. Imagine you were flying on a magic carpet right now, and with a sense of awe and wonder, take in everything around you. And exhale, release. Place your hands under your shoulders. Push up into downward dog pose. And then lift your right leg up high. And exhale, big lunge forward. And this time, square your left foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Right leg is bent, knee over the ankle. And widen your stance just a bit. And with your legs wide, squeeze into the midline. You have agency. You do matter. Then thighs back, tail in. Stretch your arms for warrior two and look out over the right fingers. Breathe. Let's do this one with how wonderful arms, shall we? Palms up. Then say the mudra. How wonderful. There it is. Now from your pelvis, push straight down through your feet. The more you root, the more you can rise up from the pelvis lift. Then go into the reverse, warrior two. Enjoy the stretch. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Then stretch the right leg straight. Hinge from your hip. Both legs straight. Pull up on the skin of the kneecaps. And then come into Trikonasana pose. Left hand to your hip. Right hand to your ankle. Or into eagle talons behind. You can use a block. And put your hands on the block to assist tight hamstrings. Make sure that your right heel bisects the center of the back foot, and that your back foot is square, not turned in or turned out. And then really pull in. Co-participate with grace. Thighs back, tail in. And then stretch your left arm up. And radiate out from the very center of the pelvis, like shining through the cords of the star, through the legs, spine, and arms. Good. Sweep the left arm overhead. A little bit more stretch. Take your left hip back more. And then exhale. Return downward dog. And breathe. If you need to rest, you can bring your knees down to the floor. Otherwise, left leg up high. Exhale, lunge. Come up, hands to hips. Bring the left heel in line with the center of the right foot. And then stretch your arms to get the right distance between your legs. It's approximate, but try to bring your ankles as wide as your wrists. Once you've got that, open to the bigger energy, and let's do how wonderful arms. So open, yep, like you could hold grace in your palms, and then engage. So squeeze your legs into the middle. Muscles hug, really protects the joints, makes prana flow, it heats up the muscle tissue, gives support to the whole body. So you hug in, bend your knee a bit more, and then thigh bones back. It's the third essential of Ashaya Yoga. You move your thigh bones back, or just stick your butt out. Same thing. Keeping them back, pull your tailbone in. That gives you curve and then length in your low back. Go to the reverse. Right hand to the back leg. And breathe. And from your pelvic core, root through your feet. And from the pelvis, rise up. That's the fourth essential, which is expand or stretch. Inhale, come up, left leg straight, pull from your feet all the way up to the pelvic core. Then hinge from the left hip, come down. Right hand to your hip. Remember, you can use a block or just do eagle talons outside of the shin. Right arm up. Take a breath. Remember your connection to the stars, sense of wonder. And then hug in. The universe desires to become known as you, so hug into your beautifully limited nature. We're all gods and goddesses in drag. And then thighs back, tailbone in, lift your heart. And from your pelvic core, radiate your light. You are a beautiful color of the rainbow, absolutely needed, as important as life itself. And then stretch your right arm over the ear. Take your right hip back a little bit more, stretch. And exhale, come down, plank, chaturanga, all the way down. Inhale, come up, cobra. And then we're gonna roll to the left hip and crawl right knee forward into salamander pose, Kurmayasana. You won't see that in any book except mine, because I made it up. And I got a Sanskrit scholar named it. So Kurmya means all things that are crawl, like that are slimy and crawl, like a salamander. So thighs back, tailbone in. And then push your left foot back, lean your left ribs forward. And that's where you're going to get a stretch all along the left side and left hip. It's really an incredible psoas stretch, quadratus lumborum, which is the low back area. Exhale. Down. Inhale, cobra, look to the left, crawl the left knee forward, and then roll to the outside edge of your right thigh, thighs back, tail in. Push your right foot, lean your right ribs. And breathe. So look back over your shoulder. Exhale down. Rest your arms by your sides for a moment and breathe. Very good. All right, please come up and lie on your back. We're going to do a little hip opener, and you'll need a belt for the next one. So have a belt ready, just put it by your side. Bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. Okay, Sukhi Randrasana, eye of the needle. Cross your right ankle just below the left knee on the thigh, or above the knee on the thigh bone. And then pull your left thigh in towards you. Now here's the key. Almost in every other method, they say flatten your back to the floor. But in Ashaya, we want to keep the low back curve. So hold your thigh behind the left hamstring with your hands. And then push your thigh back until you get a low back curve. So instead of, if you pull your thigh in like this, the low back just flattens out on the floor. We have a natural low back curve. We want to support that. We don't want to just flatten it out with pressure. So push your left thigh back until you get a curve. Hug in, spread your toes apart. Then keeping the curve, pull your thigh towards you and push your right knee away from you. And that will produce a tremendous stretch in the right hip. And what's great is you can get amazing stretches and have good alignment without flattening your back. You might not go as far into the pose, but you'll get an even better stretch, and it's safer. Spread your toes. Try to chop your right foot toward the little toe more so that your ankle is straight. And then exhale, release. Switch, left ankle on knee. Hold the back of your right thigh. Low back curve, push your thigh back into your hands. Come on, get the low back curve. I know it's so habitual to flatten it, isn't it? Okay, so try. You move your sitting bones toward the floor. The inner thighs go back. You push the right thigh into your hands. Now spread your toes. Hug muscles to bones. You have agency. And then pull your right knee towards you. Press the left knee away from you. The stretch should be concentrated in the left hip. You can close your eyes and just focus on the stretch. Breathe into it and continue to hug in. Agency means that every moment of life you co-participate with grace. Let grace come in the form of your breath. And even as you stretch, breathe. In that way, your individual nature blends with the universal nature. It is your divine nature. with a sense of wonder and awe. Remember, we're connected to the bigger energy. Now exhale, release. Take your belt, put it around your right foot, and stretch your right leg straight up. Hold both ends of the belt, one in the left, one in the right hand. And then I usually like to wrap the belt, if you can hold back far enough, wrap it once around your hand so it won't slip. Okay, push your foot up into the belt, spread your toes, hug in, and then stretch your left leg straight. Flex your left leg. So the left leg should be just like a Tadasana leg. Muscles hug bones, root the heel. And then before you pull on the belt, bring your left thigh all the way down to touch the floor. Seriously. How? Okay, just bend your right knee a bit. Now root the left thigh strongly. It takes a little bit of practice. When your left thigh goes down, you have a low back curve. Yay. Now slide your tail in a little bit and then pull on the belt. Keep the curve the whole time. As soon as you feel your back flatten, you have to stop. Arch the back, get a curve again, and then pull. So this is hamstring stretch with low back curve. Okay, it's the most aligned way to do the stretch. And then push your right thigh back. Pull your right shin towards you. Take the outer right hip crease back more. Outer right hip crease back. Yeah, it'll almost feel like your leg externally rotates, but it doesn't. In the Ashaya method, we take the inner edges of the thighs back first. So left thigh to the floor, right thigh back. And then take the outer edges of the thigh back. The internal and external rotation of the leg. Very good. Now hold both ends of the belt in your right hand. We're going to go way out to the right side. Just for a moment, stretch and breathe. And then bring your leg back to center and switch. Okay. So left leg up. Hold both ends of the belt, one in each hand, and then wrap the belt once around your hand. Stretch your right leg out. Push your left leg back so far that your right thigh goes to touch the floor. It's just different. When your right thigh goes down to touch, you'll have a low back curve. I promise you, it's a guarantee. So now you keep the curve. Now it's safe to stretch, so pull on the belt. And as long as you maintain a curve in the low back, you can stretch. Push your left thigh back, but pull on the belt. Use your agency to align with the bigger energy. Once you get into alignment, let go and breathe. Say let go and let grace. Left thigh back. From your pelvic core now, push out through the right foot and up through the left foot. Yeah, push up into the belt. Shoulders stay relaxed, face is relaxed. Relax your jaw, nothing you have to do with your mouth. And breathe. Now hold both ends of the belt with your left hand. Bring your left leg way out to the left. For a moment and stretch. Well done. Inhale, come back to center. Move the belt, give yourself a hug, both knees in. Rock a little bit right to left. Okay. And then come up to sitting. So roll to the right. And come back to the seated position that you established in the beginning. You can sit up on a couple of folded blankets like this. Manually turn your thigh bones in, draw your tailbone down.
We'll start with Ujjayi breathing, which is a wonderful form of pranayama that helps to heat up the body and helps to open all the channels. So it's in and out through the nose, soft, slow breaths, but you make an aspirated whisper sound in the base of your throat. It's a little hug of the muscles in the base of the throat. Listen for the sound. It's also known as the ocean sounding breath. Permit the pauses between the breaths and make the sound consistent from start to finish. So you have to back off the power in the beginning of the breath and put a little more power towards the end. Keep the volume the same level, start to finish. And then try to balance the sound of both inhalation and exhalation. So if someone were listening to you breathe, they wouldn't be able to tell if you were inhaling or exhaling. Make sure as you do the Ujjayi sound that your jaw is soft, skin on your face remains relaxed. You don't over effort. And now breathe normally. Notice the quality of your body and the quality of your mind. Ujjayi steadies the mind. And we'll sit in silence for a few moments of meditation. I want to invite you to use the mantra, silent mantra, Hamsa, which means I am that. I am the universe. It is a beautiful affirmation of your own divinity. So when you inhale, silently think, hum, I am. And when you exhale, think, sa. When you coordinate the mantra with your breath, it helps you stay focused. It's a little bit easier. Whenever your mind wanders, bring it back to the mantra. And over time, the mantra is independent of any breath rhythm. You just simply place the thought of the mantra into the field of your awareness and let go. This mantra has a calming effect on the nervous system and will help you get deeply relaxed inside. It dissolves the bubbles of anxiety and worry. And instead of staying on the surface of the ocean where all the waves are, where we just always go up and down like a buoy, Hamsa is like an anchor that goes deep into the ocean of consciousness and the ocean of stillness. So let yourself go deep and feel as though the ocean of grace surrounds you and supports you and uplifts you. Experience grace in all the directions in front of you, on your right side, behind you, on your left side, above you, below you, and then deep in your heart on the inside. And imagine now the light of grace permeates every cell and radiates through you from the inside out, so that your whole body becomes illumined with the light of the divine. Now gently release and come lie down on your back for a couple of minutes in Shavasana to rest. Just make yourself comfortable. Once you're on your back, take a couple of deep breaths, especially on the exhalation. Let go more. Allow your muscles to fall away from the bones, and allow your bones to descend into the earth. Become one with the earth. And let the sky of grace above shower you with light. Imagine you could float in a moat of light all around your body. And take a moment to receive, savor, and be. Receive all the benefits and blessings of your practice of grace in the form of your breath. And then breathe down to your fingers and toes. And then move fingers and toes slowly and begin to return. Roll to your right side and come on up to sitting. Sit upright, close your eyes, bring your palms together in front of your heart. And take a moment to, again, open to grace. And honor your body as the vessel of this higher energy. May you be a pure conduit of light in the form of wonder to radiate that light out to all those you meet today and to everything you do. May we uplift those around us. May we uplift the world and bring more light to the planet. With gratitude now, take a breath and we'll chant Om. Namaste. May you have a wonderful day today and every day. And I hope you enjoyed the class. To learn more, please go to ashayayoga.com. Check out the membership. It's really the most wonderful way to have a consistent, regular practice. I'm with you 4 classes a week, twice a day. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:20 a.m. for the meditation, 8:15 for the class. And I offer 3 different styles of classes: gentle yoga, all levels yoga, and deep core, which is very strengthening. So great to see you guys. If you have any questions, just send an email.